Hello, welcome to PHP Tutorial. What's going on, guys? I hope you're enjoying my videos, and if you are not, just let me know. I'll try to improve. But hopefully, if you are paying attention and going through each of the videos, maybe one or few more times, and doing some programming practice, I think you probably are learning PHP because it's not a very difficult language to learn. And there's just so much of work, so many websites coming on with PHP. I think it's a very useful language. So we are still covering the basics of PHP, and I'm going to do a lot more videos on PHP advanced topics. So just stay tuned, and if you already know these topics, fine. Just move on to the advanced stuff, or just wait for the advanced stuff to come out. We're going to do a lot of PHP videos. So now we're going to discuss about, as you see, PHP loops. Now what are loops? Now loops are, if you have a set of values and you want to loop through it, you use loops. And what are the different loops PHP has? Well, it has two different syntax, or two different loops. One is while loop, another is for loop. So while loop, they're very specific usage of that. So let's say this is a very simple while loop. Let's say we want to print all the values till I hits 50. Then we use while. So the syntax is while $i less than 50. Now assuming that $i has an initial value. If you don't, sometimes PHP will take at 0 as initial value. So let's say, and then you print it out you put a curly brace and then you print the value, and then you do an increment. So the key thing is that you have to put the increment here. Unless if you don't do the increment within the loop, loop would go on forever. Whereas in the for loop, you are pretty much putting everything here. You're saying I equal to 1, I less than 5, and it's the increment. So just check three different things. To make a loop work, you have to have initial value, you have to have a final value, and you have to have an increment. In for loop, you specify everything here. In while loop, you specify in three different places. You put initial value before the while loop starts. You put the end value, and then you put this one. So now I really don't, in terms of which one to use where, depending on personal preference. I mean, I don't really feel any particular need of using one versus another in a particular same. You can use anything. I personally like for loop because I prefer putting everything in one line here. So if you run the program, it's pretty straightforward. As you see here, you have 10, 15, 20. So it's getting, because it's getting incremented here, and it's putting that. Whereas in the for loop, it's also I put a lesser number, so it's printing here. So now let's do some fun. So if you see put one, if you don't do, let's say you don't have this value, what will happen? Let's try it out. Okay, so it has taken the first one comes as 10, and I think that's retrieving from cache. Let's see. Okay, there you go. So while loop number is 5. So because it starts with 0, so then it doesn't print anything, and then it prints. Okay, here is what is going on. Initially, when you haven't defined anything here, so first when it comes, it doesn't know about I. But then when you are coming to this line and when you're doing addition, it initializes I to 0. So my bet would be, if you print again I here, you will get the initial value as, okay, so let's do this a little bit. So if you get rid of this, I think we'll start with 5. So I will be nothing here. Here this will be initialized to 0 and then added 5. So it will start with 5. There you go. So it started 5. As you see, certain nuances of PHP, how it makes things interesting. So that is about loops. Let's move on to something different topic. But I think we'll stop the video now. We'll take a different topic in our next tutorial. Thank you.